What if a ticking time bomb had a gentle soul? Imagine the universe's most destructive alien force raised by a kind martial artist. In this timeline, Bardock saves two sons, sending Kakarot and the exiled Broly to Earth. It breaks the cosmos entirely. A story not of conquest, but of a desperate leash and the raging storm it holds back. Two Saiyan pods crash violently into the serene bamboo forests of Mount Paozu. Grandpa Gohan discovers two boys inside. One is small and aggressively wild. The other is massive and eerily silent. He adopts them both without hesitation. The old man doesn't realize he just altered the fate of the entire galaxy forever by taking them into his humble home. Growing up, the boys are complete opposites. Kakarot is boundless energy, while Broly is a quiet, gentle giant who genuinely fears loud noises. Broly follows his smaller brother everywhere like a massive, protective shadow. They wear matching martial arts gis, tearing through the wilderness, completely oblivious to the cursed, violent alien blood running deeply through their veins. One fateful night, everything changes drastically. A simple campfire spooks a predator, and Broly panics. The gentle boy's ki explodes suddenly, tearing apart the forest in a blinding green flash. Grandpa Gohan desperately leaps directly into the chaotic storm, wrapping his warm arms around the terrified, screaming child. He isn't crushed by a great ape tonight. He is crushed by raw, untamed grief. The old man's sacrifice works beautifully. Broly's chaotic energy dissipates rapidly, leaving him sobbing over Gohan's broken body. He didn't die from a freak tail accident. He died calming the boy he loved. That specific trauma scars Broly forever. His own immense power becomes his absolute greatest, most paralyzing terror. From that tragic day forward, Goku steps up immediately. The wild child becomes a steadfast anchor. When Broly's ki flares and his eyes widen with panic, Goku is always there, placing a firm, reassuring hand on his massive shoulder. It establishes the critical dynamic that defines their lives. Goku is the leash, and Broly is the devastating storm. Years pass quickly. A blue-haired teenager named Bulma nearly runs them over with her car. Instead of finding one wild monkey boy, she finds two rugged mountain men. Broly's severe social anxiety makes him hide nervously behind Goku, creating a hilarious contrast to his towering, muscular frame. The trio sets off to find the mythical, wish-granting Dragon Balls. The journey is radically different now. Villains who used to pose a serious threat are utterly terrified of the hulking teenager. When Yamcha tries to rob them, Broly accidentally shatters his heavy sword with a nervous, twitching finger. The gentle giant is terrified of hurting anyone, constantly apologizing while leaving massive, cratered footprints with every clumsy step. During the World Martial Arts Tournament, Broly absolutely refuses to fight. He sits quietly in the audience, nervously clutching a massive pile of sweet snacks. He watches proudly as Goku bravely battles Jackie Chun and Tien. Goku is the dedicated martial artist. Broly is just his biggest fan. It creates a beautiful, peaceful illusion for everyone watching. King Piccolo's dark reign of terror briefly shatters that peaceful illusion. When Krillin is brutally killed, Broly's aura flickers bright green, the sky shaking violently. But Goku stops him immediately.
"He's mine,"
Goku says softly. Broly fully trusts his brother's control over the chaotic rage. Goku defeats the Demon King alone, keeping Broly's destructive potential safely locked away. They officially grow into adults. Goku marries Chi-Chi, and Broly happily becomes Uncle Broly to young Gohan. Broly is entirely at peace farming giant radishes, letting Goku do all the heavy lifting. The Earth remains tranquil, but the cold universe always has a way of finding those who try to hide. A pod crashes into the peaceful farmland. Raditz steps out of the smoking crater, completely unprepared for what he finds. He came to Earth seeking one low-class brother to recruit. Instead, his scouter nearly explodes violently as he stares at two full-grown Saiyans. Raditz's smug grin vanishes instantly, replaced by sheer terror. He immediately recognizes the towering, silent man standing right beside Kakarot.
"You're the exiled freak,"
Raditz stammers, backing away quickly. King Vegeta's legendary mistake is somehow still alive. Raditz demands they join him, snatching young Gohan as cruel leverage. The brothers aggressively pursue him, but the brutal fight goes terribly wrong. Raditz fights with cowardly tactics, eventually blasting Goku straight through the chest with a lethal, searing energy wave. Broly watches his brother fall heavily to the dirt. The leash violently snaps. For the first time since childhood, the terrifying green-eyed berserker surfaces. The sky turns completely black as Broly's muscles expand massively, his screams echoing like shattered glass. Raditz doesn't even have time to beg for his life. Broly obliterates him in a single, merciless strike. Goku lies dying in Piccolo's arms, smiling weakly at his deeply traumatized brother.
"It's okay, big guy,"
Goku whispers softly before fading away entirely. Broly drops heavily to his knees, utterly horrified by the raging monster he just let out. Piccolo and the Z-Fighters exchange terrified glances. Goku is dead, leaving them with a crying, walking extinction event. In the other world, Goku sprints desperately across Snake Way to reach King Kai. The stakes are infinitely higher now. He isn't just training to defeat the incoming Saiyans, he is training because without his presence, Broly might accidentally destroy the entire Earth out of sheer grief. He pushes the fiery Kaio-ken to its absolute breaking point daily. On Earth, the brave Z-Fighters attempt to train alongside Broly. It is an absolute, unmitigated nightmare. A simple sparring session with Piccolo effortlessly levels an entire mountain range. Broly is terrified of himself, refusing to fight back, curling into a ball while his passive energy creates violent, rolling earthquakes. Piccolo realizes they are guarding a ticking bomb. One grueling year passes. Vegeta and Nappa finally arrive, reducing East City to scorched ash. The Z-Fighters firmly stand their ground, but Vegeta ignores them completely. His dark eyes lock onto the massive warrior cowering nervously in the back. The proud Saiyan prince's smirk drops instantly. He recognizes the legend that his paranoid father desperately tried to murder. Vegeta's entire worldview shatters completely.
"I am the prince,"
he mutters angrily.
"but the thing that should have ruled is standing right in front of me, raised by pathetic earthlings."
His pride wound shifts entirely. It's no longer about a low-class clown. It's about the mythical throne he was denied by this weeping giant's very existence. Nappa steps up boldly, laughing cruelly at the giant. He relentlessly attacks the brave Z-Fighters, brutally killing Yamcha, Tien, and Chiaotzu in rapid succession. Broly covers his ears tightly, paralyzed by the extreme violence and the loud explosions. Nappa then turns his deadly sights on young Gohan. The trauma of Grandpa Gohan's tragic death floods Broly's fractured mind. Broly completely loses his fragile mind. The berserker unleashes violently. A dome of blinding green energy forcefully blasts Nappa directly into the stratosphere, killing him instantly. Broly's pupils vanish entirely. He becomes a mindless, screaming juggernaut, completely devastating the rocky battlefield. Even Vegeta steps back in genuine horror as the legendary myth becomes a terrifying, uncontrollable reality. Broly attacks absolutely everything in sight, nearly crushing Piccolo and Gohan with massive boulders. The surviving Z-Fighters realize they are going to die by their own friends' hands. Suddenly, a familiar burst of blazing red ki streaks across the darkened sky. Goku finally arrives. He doesn't attack. He lands directly in front of his rampaging, screaming brother.
"I'm here! Look at me!"
Goku shouts loudly, wrapping his arms securely around the massive, thrashing berserker. The intense Kaio-ken actively burns his own skin, but he holds tight. Slowly, the violent green aura fades away. Broly collapses, weeping heavily into Goku's shoulder. The world watches in stunned silence. Broly's raw power means nothing without his brother. Vegeta is furious and thoroughly disgusted by the pathetic display of emotional weakness. He challenges Goku directly. The iconic battle of Saiyan elites begins, but it plays out very differently. Vegeta is highly distracted, constantly glancing nervously at the exhausted Broly. Goku's Kaio-ken easily overpowers the prince. Battered and humiliated, Vegeta retreats into his pod, swearing revenge. Earth is saved, but the atmosphere remains incredibly heavy. The world's protectors now fully know the terrifying truth. Their absolute greatest weapon is undeniably their greatest danger. If Goku ever falls permanently, the planet will be torn apart by the gentle giant who simply doesn't know how to stop. The long journey to Namek begins under a dark cloud. They travel to Namek to revive their fallen friends. Word quickly reaches Frieza. The tyrant is already aggressively hunting Dragon Balls, but the news of two Saiyans terrifies him deeply. He destroyed planet Vegeta specifically because he feared the Super Saiyan and the legendary myth. Now, both prophecies are alive and actively hunting him on the exact same planet. Frieza's intense paranoia becomes the driving engine of the entire arc. He throws the elite Ginyu Force at them in sheer panic. The brothers fight together beautifully. Goku handles the intricate, fast martial arts, while Broly serves as the immovable, bruising tank. They completely dismantle Frieza's elite forces with ease, laughing together like they are back home. Vegeta watches from the dark shadows, his royal pride stinging sharply. He forms a reluctant, tense alliance with the brothers, constantly prodding Broly with incredibly harsh insults.
You're a pathetic waste of legendary blood.
Vegeta sneers constantly. Broly just ignores him entirely, offering the angry prince a piece of fruit. Vegeta violently slaps it away, infuriated by kindness. The final battle against Frieza officially begins. Frieza transforms into his sleek final form, proving far too fast and lethal for Goku's Kaio-ken. Frieza recognizes Broly from the terrifying stories his father told him. Deciding to break them emotionally, Frieza targets the absolute weakest link. He fires a searing death beam straight through Krillin, lifting him high up. Krillin violently explodes into dust. Goku screams in pure agony, but the real catalyst happens beside him. The first Super Saiyan of the era is violently born, completely subverting the legend. Broly erupts first. But it isn't the clean, golden aura of a righteous warrior. It is the terrifying, green-tinged, completely mindless wrath of the legendary form. Broly becomes a hulking, unstoppable nightmare. He grabs Frieza by the pale face and violently drags him through 3 solid mountains. Frieza fires desperate, piercing death beams, but they bounce off Broly's chest harmlessly. The tyrant is getting completely massacred, but Broly's endlessly expanding energy is rapidly destabilizing the planet's core. Namek is violently tearing itself into pieces. Goku watches his beloved brother become the exact violent monster everyone always feared. The heavy grief of losing Krillin mixes perfectly with the sheer terror of losing Broly to madness. Goku realizes he must ascend, not out of hateful rage, but as a deliberate choice. He must become strong enough to physically stop his brother from destroying everything. Lightning strikes the ground. Goku's dark hair spikes up and turns brilliant gold. He achieves the true Super Saiyan form. 2 legendary warriors stand on the dying world, representing 2 completely different philosophies. Broly's unleashed, traumatic rage versus Goku's deeply focused, controlled grief. Goku dashes forward swiftly, intercepting Broly's massive fist before it caves in Frieza's skull.
That's enough, Broly.
Goku commands loudly, his golden aura clashing violently against the bright green. The brothers grapple intensely in the broken sky. Frieza watches in absolute horror as the 2 mythical beings battle. Goku's calm, warm energy slowly seeps into Broly, grounding the wild berserker. The green aura finally recedes, leaving Broly totally exhausted but sane. Frieza launches a highly cowardly sneak attack while they are distracted. Without even looking back, the 2 glowing brothers raise their hands in perfect, practiced unison. A combined golden and green energy wave completely vaporizes the galactic tyrant instantly. Frieza is defeated by ultimate synergy, Broly's infinite power guided flawlessly by Goku's disciplined control. The prophecies are fulfilled. They escape the violently exploding planet using a stolen alien ship. But deep in the dark cosmos, a one-eyed Saiyan watches the grainy footage on a stolen monitor. Paragus finally locates his lost son. The slow-burn villain smiles wickedly in the shadows. The hunt begins, and he knows exactly how to tear the universe's most unbreakable bond apart. The brothers return safely to Earth. A mysterious boy named Trunks arrives, warning them of the deadly androids. During the 3-year training gap, a sleek ship lands in the barren wasteland. Paragus steps out gracefully, falling to his knees and weeping as he finally embraces Broly. The prodigal father has returned, but he brings absolute emotional poison. Paragus doesn't fight anyone. He is a master, quiet manipulator. He subtly plants the dark seed of doubt during quiet, vulnerable moments.
Look how Kakarot treats you.
Paragus whispers maliciously, while Goku is sparring with Piccolo.
He stops you. He commands you. You aren't his brother, my son. You are his weapon. He keeps you on a tight leash.
The emotional rupture slowly builds up. Cell emerges from the shadows, absorbing the androids to become fully perfect. The threat forces the heroes into the hyperbolic time chamber. Broly's massive energy output makes training together impossible, so they go separately. Paragus uses this critical isolation to actively exploit the growing distance. Broly begins to seriously doubt Goku's love. The Cell games officially begin. The tension is incredibly suffocating. Goku steps into the ring, fights brilliantly, and then surprisingly surrenders completely. But instead of calling upon Gohan to save the day, Goku turns to the towering giant.
You're up, Broly. Show him.
Goku smiles warmly. Paragus smirks, seeing the perfect opportunity to enact his long-awaited dark revenge. Broly slowly enters the shattered ring. Cell is highly arrogant, but quickly realizes he is completely outmatched by the raw force. Paragus yells loudly from the sidelines, using a hidden sonic device to trigger Broly's trauma.
Tear him apart, Broly. Kill Cell. Kill Kakarot for chaining you down.
Paragus demands aggressively. The green berserker aura violently explodes outwards. Broly stands precariously at the very precipice of madness. He looks at the terrified Cell, then at the calm Goku. The sonic device screams loudly in his mind. He must decide right now, is he the monster his father desperately wants, or the brother Goku lovingly raised? With tears forming, Broly crushes the device. He chooses his brother. Enraged by the total defiance, Cell realizes he absolutely cannot win conventionally. He initiates his self-destruct sequence, inflating into a massive, bubbling bomb, but he maliciously aims his final explosive blast directly at Paragus and the terrified Broly, knowing it will emotionally break the giant completely. The energy forcefully expands, threatening to completely obliterate the entire rocky battlefield. Goku instantly uses instant transmission. He doesn't take Cell away. He teleports directly between the expanding blast and his brother. Goku proudly takes the absolute full force of the explosion, shielding Broly entirely from the lethal damage. The heavy smoke clears, revealing Goku's completely broken body. He smiles at Broly one last time before his life force completely fades. Goku dies a selfless hero, but the devastating consequence is immediate. Broly drops heavily to his knees, clutching his brother's torn, bloody gi. He lost his only lighthouse. The absolute only person in the universe who could pull him back from the edge is gone forever. Who on earth controls Broly now? 7 long years pass by. The Buu saga begins with a suffocating, incredibly heavy grief. Broly lives in absolute isolation in the frozen northern mountains, refusing to fight or even speak. He is the strongest being alive, yet completely broken. Vegeta, surprisingly, becomes his very reluctant anchor. The proud prince regularly visits, recognizing a fellow shattered Saiyan soul. Vegeta doesn't offer warm hugs. He offers brutal, grounding honesty instead.
Stop feeling sorry for yourself, you massive idiot.
Vegeta scolds loudly, tossing Broly a capsule of warm food. Vegeta becomes the strict brother substitute. He uses his sharp pride to keep Broly highly focused, forcing him to spar intensely just to burn off the dangerous, endlessly overflowing energy. The evil wizard Babidi arrives on Earth, resurrecting the ancient terror known as Majin Buu. Meanwhile, Paragus makes his final, desperate endgame play. He attempts to use Babidi's dark magic to fully weaponize Broly, forcefully placing the glowing Majin seal on the giant's forehead.
Finally,
Paragus laughs wickedly.
the universe will burn under my absolute, undeniable command.
But the dark magic fails completely. Broly's sheer, overwhelming grief overpowers Babidi's mind control instantly. Broly stares down at his manipulative, terrified father.
You never loved me,
Broly says softly, his deep voice rumbling like thunder. With a single, sorrowful blast, Broly disintegrates Paragus entirely. He permanently chooses the family that raised him over the toxic bloodline. Broly turns his intense attention completely to Majin Buu. The pink demon perfectly represents pure, uncontrolled, mindless destruction. Everything Broly was always terrified of becoming himself. Defeating Buu isn't just about saving the universe anymore. It is about Broly finally defeating his own worst reflection. The brutal battle shakes the very fabric of the cosmos, shattering dimensional walls completely. Kid Buu proves far too resilient, regenerating endlessly from every single devastating blow. Just as Broly's immense stamina finally wavers, a golden flash illuminates the dark sky. Fortune teller Baba's 24-hour revival brings Goku back right when it matters most. The brothers lock eyes across the battlefield. No words are needed. The lighthouse and the storm are finally reunited. They fight as a truly flawless unit. Goku prepares the massive spirit bomb, while Broly physically pins the violently screaming demon down to the ground.
Do it, Goku!
Broly roars loudly, fully trusting his brother with his life. The spirit bomb absolutely obliterates Kid Buu, erasing the evil permanently. Broly smiles, panting heavily. The earned emotional payoff hits perfectly. True peace returns, but it never lasts very long in this chaotic universe. Beerus, the powerful god of destruction, awakens from his slumber, seeking the legendary Super Saiyan god. He easily defeats Goku and threatens Earth. The dragon reveals the ritual requires righteous Saiyans. But this timeline shifts the mechanics entirely. The ascension requires something much deeper than blood. The Super Saiyan God form isn't reached through a simple six-person circle here. It requires the brothers to completely fuse their very essences as a divine channel. Goku's pure, calm spirit must perfectly balance Broly's infinite, chaotic power. The very bond that Paragus desperately tried to break permanently becomes the exact key required to finally unlock the divine realm. The complex ritual succeeds brilliantly. Goku ascends to the fiery red-haired god form, clashing beautifully with the destructive deity in the stratosphere. Beerus is deeply amused by the brothers' unique dynamic. After the fight, Whis takes a profound interest in Broly specifically. The angel clearly sees the universe's most dangerous mortal power finally possessing the discipline to wield it. Whis brings both brothers to his divine planet. The training is incredibly brutal. Whis aims to permanently separate Broly's immense power from his traumatic rage.
You treat your power like a terrible curse.
Whis notes calmly, elegantly dodging a massive punch.
Embrace it as a tool.
Broly slowly learns to channel the legendary green energy without losing his mind. The Tournament of Power is officially announced by Zeno. The stakes are total universal erasure. Universe 7 enters the arena with an absolutely unprecedented duo. The tournament becomes the ultimate test of everything they have learned. Goku's serene calmness, Broly's mastered storm, and Vegeta's unyielding pride are all forged together on the chaotic, crumbling stage of the Battle Royale. They tear through the fierce competition. Broly easily eliminates fighters without malice, using precise, highly controlled strikes instead of wild flailing. He is completely unrecognizable from the crying child or the mindless monster on Namek. But then, they finally meet Jiren. The unstoppable Pride Trooper from Universe 11 overwhelms them both with an overwhelming wall of absolute, terrifying heat. Jiren beats Goku down brutally, pushing him to the absolute brink of death. In response, Goku completely shatters his limits, unlocking the glowing, silver-haired Ultra Instinct. The philosophical climax of the entire series manifests beautifully. Goku represents perfect, thoughtless calm. Beside him, Broly fiercely taps into the mastered legendary Super Saiyan form, representing perfect, completely controlled rage. The final battle is absolute cinematic poetry. Goku dodges flawlessly, while Broly completely absorbs the devastating blows, countering with world-shattering force. They fight Jiren not as two individuals, but as two perfect halves of the exact same cosmic coin. Jiren is entirely bewildered by their perfect synchronization. Broly is finally controlling his form entirely, without Goku acting as leash. In the final, completely desperate clash, Broly grabs Jiren tightly, smiling warmly over his massive shoulder at his brother.
Do it now, Goku!
He yells loudly. Goku unleashes a massive silver Kamehameha, actively propelling all three of them out of the fighting arena. They deliberately choose absolute trust over selfish power to survive. Universe 7 wins. The emotional thesis is paid perfectly. The massive Super Dragon Balls restore the erased universes instantly. The brothers return home safely, their bond vastly stronger than ever before. In the quiet aftermath, Broly walks completely alone into the serene bamboo forest of Mount Paozu. He kneels respectfully before a small, weathered stone grave. He places a gentle hand on the dirt, no longer terrified of himself. Broly leaves a single, perfect radish on Grandpa Gohan's quiet grave. The destructive monster they all feared deeply never truly existed. He was just a scared, traumatized boy who desperately needed a loving brother to guide him into the light. Honestly, any timeline where love completely conquers absolute destruction is the canon I want to live in forever. This profound journey proves that power scaling is meaningless when compared to the emotional weight of a brother's unconditional love. Broly stands back up, taking a deeply refreshing breath of the mountain air. He looks up at the sky, his eyes completely clear and entirely free from the heavy, suffocating shadows of his incredibly tragic, blood-stained past. Goku patiently waits for him near the edge of the quiet forest. He leans casually against a tree, crossing his arms and smiling warmly.
You ready to go eat, big guy?
Goku asks cheerfully. Broly nods enthusiastically, his massive stomach loudly rumbling in response. The immense tension of the universe fades perfectly into a beautifully simple, domestic moment. They fly together over the beautiful landscapes of Earth, racing each other playfully through the thick white clouds. Broly completely controls his flight, no longer tearing the sky apart with chaotic green energy. He perfectly matches Goku's speed. The leash is completely gone, and the devastating storm has finally settled into a truly peaceful, warm summer breeze. Vegeta watches them fly overhead from his balcony at Capsule Corp. The Saiyan Prince crosses his arms, letting out a quiet, entirely uncharacteristic scoff of genuine respect. He finally accepts that true strength isn't just about ruling, it's about mastering the absolute worst parts of yourself. The mythical legend is finally at peace, exactly where he truly belongs. Piccolo meditates quietly on the distant lookout, sensing the massive, calm energy signature far below. He remembers the terrifying days when Broly's very presence caused the entire planet to violently shake. Now, the giant's ki feels as completely natural and deeply steady as the ocean tide. The Namekian finally closes his eyes, completely letting go of his lingering fear. Even Frieza, completely resurrected by the tournament's aftermath, feels the distinct shift in the universe's energy. Sitting upon his cold throne in deep space, the galactic tyrant decides to entirely avoid Earth for the foreseeable future. He knows perfectly well that provoking the two brothers now would result in his absolute, immediate, and entirely permanent annihilation without question. Back at the house, Bulma hosts a massive feast to celebrate their universe's survival. Broly sits quietly at the edge of the table, carefully trying not to break any of the delicate plates. He still possesses deep social anxiety, but he is completely surrounded by people who love him. He finally feels completely safe in his own skin. Goku loudly shoves copious amounts of food into his mouth, laughing heartily at something Krillin says. The profound joy of the scene entirely masks the incredible cosmic trauma they all recently endured. They are just a beautiful, deeply dysfunctional family enjoying a peaceful afternoon. Broly watches Goku with absolute, unwavering admiration. He owes this amazing life entirely to him. After the massive feast, the two brothers sit entirely alone on the grassy hill overlooking their beautiful home. The sun slowly begins to set, casting brilliant orange and purple hues perfectly across the sky. Goku leans back lazily on his hands.
We did incredibly good, didn't we?
Goku asks softly. Broly just nods, his heart completely full. The legacy of King Vegeta's terrible, paranoid mistake is completely erased. The tragic bloodline of the legendary berserker has been entirely rewritten by the simple, profound kindness of an old man in the woods. The universe's most dangerous weapon was perfectly disarmed with love. It is a stunning, deeply beautiful subversion of the entire Saiyan warrior culture. In this perfect timeline, the ultimate power is not achieved through selfish ambition or sheer, unadulterated rage. It is achieved entirely through profound trust. Goku and Broly prove to the very gods themselves that a broken mind can be entirely healed. The destructive storm can be beautifully tamed if someone is brave enough to firmly hold the leash. Whis observes them carefully from his distant divine staff, smiling perfectly. The elegant angel deeply understands that this specific universe is incredibly special. They don't just brutally defeat their enemies, they completely change them. Universe 7 is protected by the most profoundly unbreakable bond in the entire multiverse. The angelic being finally closes his magical staff entirely. The incredible weight of their shared history makes them totally unstoppable. If any new threat ever dares to approach Earth, They will face a devastating, perfectly synchronized duo. They will face the serene calmness of the ultimate martial artist, perfectly paired with the completely focused wrath of the legendary giant. It is an absolutely flawless defense mechanism. Broly suddenly stands up from the grassy hill, stretching his incredibly massive arms toward the sky. He looks down at his much smaller brother.
Sparring?
Broly asks quietly, an incredibly rare, genuine grin crossing his scarred face. Goku's eyes light up entirely with pure excitement. He aggressively jumps to his feet, instantly stretching his legs with joy.
I thought you'd never ask!
Goku laughs loudly, instantly transforming into his bright golden Super Saiyan form. Broly smiles warmly, letting his beautiful, controlled green energy slowly envelop his massive body. They don't fight out of terrible trauma or desperate survival anymore. They fight entirely for the pure, unadulterated joy of testing their absolutely incredible limits together. Their joyful clash echoes loudly across the peaceful mountains, sending massive, harmless shockwaves through the air. The birds completely ignore the incredible noise, entirely used to the brothers' playful antics. The terrible, tragic story that began with the violent destruction of planet Vegeta has finally concluded with absolute peace. The legendary curse is completely broken forever. This is exactly what makes What If stories so incredibly powerful. They vividly show us how one single, seemingly insignificant change can rewrite an entire universe's destiny. If Bardock hadn't aggressively stolen that pod, if Grandpa Gohan hadn't sacrificed his life, everything would be entirely different. The entire cosmos hinged perfectly on a few quiet, gentle moments. So, what if Goku and Broly were actually brothers? The entire universe completely changes. The villains fall much harder, the deep tragedies hit profoundly closer to home, and the absolute ultimate power of the gods is entirely accessed through deep, unconditional love, rather than pure, selfish anger. It completely elevates the entire story to an absolute masterpiece. This completely proves exactly why we passionately love these characters so incredibly deeply. They aren't just beautifully drawn action figures violently smashing into each other. They are deeply flawed, incredibly vulnerable people, fiercely fighting for their absolute right to exist peacefully. Broly's entire story is simply the absolute ultimate, beautiful proof of that incredible core concept. They completely finish their incredibly joyful sparring match, utterly exhausted but profoundly happy. They slowly land back down in the deeply serene bamboo forest, completely ready to devour another absolutely massive feast entirely together. The Dark Universe is completely safe, and their incredibly beautiful home is absolutely perfectly secure forever. The long, tragic nightmare is completely over. That's exactly how the absolute greatest timeline perfectly plays out entirely.